I'm Ashton Addison from Blockwest Capital for Investment Pitch Media and the Crypto Coin Show. And today on Blockchain Interviews, we have Abhishek Singh, CEO of Comdex. Abhishek, welcome to the show, and thank you so much for taking the time to come on.
Hey, Ashton. Hey, everyone. Thanks for taking the time.
You're very welcome. Let's dive straight into the world of blockchain, but more specifically, commodities, synthetic assets, the real world, combining into the innovations of blockchain and how that's going to affect real world trade moving forward. It's just such a large industry of commodities, and to tokenize all of that is super exciting. So let's start off our conversation, Abhishek, with an overview from you of Comdex. What are the solutions your team is bringing to the space? And then we'll dive into the details.
Got it. So Comdex, we had a very straight mission of democratizing finance, especially in the commodity space. The aim was to bridge decentralized finance with traditional finance, and we've been around from 2018, trying to build solutions both for physical commodity trades as well as now with the synthetics protocol, creating a platform for people just to take exposure and from more of a speculative nature. So we started our journey. We had SMEs and MSMEs, in the Asia Pacific region who do cross-border trading of commodities like palm oil, soybean, and with cross-border trading, there's a huge lack of trust between these organizations, and it's a very tedious process to get settlement done. And naturally, since everything is trust-based, it's such an old industry, but it still relies a lot on paper, to prove documents, heavy documents around. And this is where we started. We started with tokenizing bills of lading. A bill of lading is, a document which is given when you are transporting something on a cargo ship. You get a bill of lading to take delivery, and with that, so. Basically, in general, supply chain lacks a lot of liquidity, and these traders, who are exporters and importers, they add liquidity to the supply chain by, trading before the end buyer can actually pay out. So we are trying to build a platform for them where, it becomes, you tokenize the commodity which is being, transported, and on the enterprise trading platform, it changes hands between these multiple SMEs in the world. Till it reaches the other port. So this was more of a very B2B solution where we had 18 enterprises onboarded, and we saw over 160 million worth of trade workflows which were put on our platform. But of course, post-COVID, we realized these organizations themselves need a lot of financing, and in the crypto space, any protocol, synthetics protocol that you see, it's mostly getting assets from the other ecosystem and not and maybe only gold, silver, and oil to be traded. So we wanted the general crypto community to be able to access this world of commodities, and why commodities, right? Because commodities is the most inflation resistant asset that you can hold. And even the recent geopolitical tension kind of proved that, in times of turmoil, that is the asset class you want to be in. Of course, you can convert into stable tokens, but if you want to see what rises perpetually during such times, as always commodities. So we wanted to give the retail users a chance to take exposure to these commodities, and this is why we came up with the synthetics protocol, so that people can just trade in synthetic gold, oil, silver. And as more price oracles get developed, which have more price feeds, we will get in more number of commodities, on our platform.
Great intro, Abhishek. Thank you for that. And yeah, it's like trying to build a technology that is trying to catch up from thousands and thousands of years of trading commodities on paper to now having it all on the blockchain. And I'm guessing it's not as easy as spending 3 months just building a quick platform and all of a sudden thousands of years of problems have been solved. It is quite an intricate, it's very intricate. So maybe you could talk a little bit about that process. How do you start approaching thousands of years problem in commodities with technology. How long has your team been working on this?
I mean, that's kind of such a true statement, because if you look at the commodity world, you'll find, of course, the bigger companies and commodities, they've been able to get good software development. They've been part of the Web 2 journey as well, like you want to call it. They have good platforms, but if you look at the smaller traders, and the thing is, in commodities, the SMEs we deal with, each of them do over $1 billion in turnover yearly, and they're still considered very small. So these people Excel is their technology platform. So they're not even used to get something passed through a software, because most of their work was always done using paper documentation that they have to actually store for years together for compliance. Now we wanted to make that jump directly to Web3, where they are now able to visualize the shipment in terms of tokens, and that has been like let's say a long journey to get these people up to speed with how to use the platform, what is a seed, and getting them up to speed. Then another thing is whenever you're approaching a problem which touches and has any touch point with the real world, then obviously it becomes a little bit more tricky when but with the B2B platform we had KYC ML checks of all these people done, and when you're doing it cross country, then you have to take care of both the jurisdictions from where the shipment is going, as well as the person on the other side who is taking it, because but luckily international laws etc are like pretty clear around trading. So the local laws aren't as because it's when the commodities being traded, it's on international borders at that point. So those are a lot of things that we had to learn from. So we had traders from Hong Kong, Singapore, Malaysia, and Dubai, and so these are the only things like we could on board. So we certainly want to do get a lot of traders onboarded from different countries, but it's certainly a slow process. So from 2018 till 2020, we had 2 iterations of the platform built, but then not enough trades by then, because we were just trying to learn from their processes. And one other thing is that the trading itself of these people, it's not a standardized process, because each of these traders, they deal with separate banks which have separate requirements that they are used to, and they have their own set of documents, and these documents internally are not a standardized document. So what we were also trying to push, and then in a version that will be launched later this year, we are trying to tell them that these are the 5 things that your contract is actually solving for you. So we will just standardize that process, at least on our platform, so we can give a uniform experience to all our users. So these are one of a few tricky points from a tech perspective. We had challenges, but that's very common to every tech project, so wouldn't go there. And we built on the Cosmos SDK. We were always early adopters of Cosmos, and the community has been very great and supportive of our endeavors till date. So and since we were creating NFTs or real world assets, it has a lot of data that you need to put in to uniquely identify your shipment. And obviously those days, now of course there are many other ecosystems where you can do it without paying a lot of gas, but those days we chose Cosmos as identified that as the best blockchain to build on.
Very cool, and thanks for mentioning that. And yeah, I feel like developing a blockchain platform for international trade is like trading in international waters, because you have to deal with different governments and different regulations from different countries, and blockchain is supposed to be global and universal. So I'm really excited to see how that plays out on Cosmos. And you mentioned at the beginning that there's multiple arms to this, where you're solving the problems of traditional commodities exchanges, but you're also getting cryptocurrency traders and just more liquidity and more exposure for commodities through technology. And I want to touch on that part a little bit more. In the same way that derivatives and synthetic assets are coming out, in different ways to trade them. In the cryptocurrency world, the commodities are also available for trading. And maybe you can talk a little bit about how cryptocurrency traders that normally trade Bitcoin or Ethereum, or maybe they do other margining or derivatives, how can they also get involved with the commodities side?
Exactly. We realized, what we were creating was a very generic protocol. Basically, in a financial term, it's called a CDP, a collateralized debt position, where you lock up, you over collateralize and mint basically, and then if price fluctuates, the collateral is sold off to cover the position. Mm-hmm. So this is the logic. You basically you see it getting applied in multiple places. But since we were in the commodity space, we wanted this ability for retail users to exist as well. We see multiple platforms like SNX on Ethereum. We saw Mirror Protocol on Terra, which kind of try to do this in a similar fashion. If you look at MakerDAO is essentially just minting the DAI with ETH as collateral, right? So on the Cosmos ecosystem, we wanted to make a very generic platform as well, where you can lock up Atom basically and mint commodity synthetics. You can mint anything that has a price feed coming in. So for our price feeds, we are using Band protocol as our oracle, and whatever price feed exists on that protocol. I mean, Chainlink does something similar. I mean, for people who don't know Band, it is like the Chainlink of the Cosmos ecosystem. So it just, for whatever price feeds you have, you can actually create a synthetic as long as you are over collateralizing it with a Cosmos ecosystem assets. And obviously, in the future, when it becomes more of a multi-chain world, we'll try to integrate with a lot more ecosystems. Our Ethereum bridge is already live. We are testing it with small transactions right now, so that we can bring in liquidity from other ecosystems, into Cosmos as well.
Mm-hmm. Incredible. And I feel like there's still so much to do, because very little people that I know are actually trading commodities, as opposed to just spot trading or a little bit of margining in cryptocurrencies. And I do like that locking up Atom with the collateralization. I think you definitely need a underlying foundational knowledge of that. Don't just go collateralizing anything large amounts on your first trade. But it is great to have options to be able to do that, especially in commodities, as you mentioned, with the political turmoil going on right now. Commodities have been more in the limelight, and some of them seem to continue to rise. So there's definitely opportunities there. Now, I also saw that there is a Comdex token as well, and I'd love to just know, in general, if there's a specific purpose inside of the platform, whether it's you need to use that for collateralization or it's more for governance. Maybe you can talk a little bit about that and how it fits in and provides value to everyone in the ecosystem.
So two things just to tell you to answer the point where you said very few people actually trade commodities, and this is what we have like an education program also that we are creating for people, so that they realize the inherent value of just holding that commodity. And we want to be like the ones spreading awareness about why this is a great asset class. And Comdex was actually meant commodity decentralized exchange when we started. So we always want to promote people to just get into this and just see historically how this asset class in general has performed. So coming to the CMDX token, our mainnet is live, but the application is slowly coming out. It's going to have its testnet hopefully before March ends. We're just finishing out some last details. The code is public, though it was always open source from day one. So you can see how the development has come about. But talking more about the token, we did a fair launch on Osmosis. So Osmosis is the DEX of the Cosmos ecosystem. And and this way we had very good community support from people. What is it used for? So in Cosmos, it's an app chain model. So every app can have its own separate chain. So we operate like a layer one protocol where we are creating these modules which can be used for different financial products. So it's not just limited to synthetics or the commodity trading app that we build. The protocol is built in a very generic fashion using the Cosmos SDK. So we have the proof of stake network, and we have 75 validators currently, where which help maintain the network. So the CMDX token is the utility token of the chain, which is used for staking, and like in every Cosmos based chain, there is governance. So all stake tokens, and we are like a heavily community driven project as well, and whatever most of the decisions, like we put it out as proposals on our chain, and stakers can actually vote on those proposals. So it's used for voting. What a DEX needs is basically liquidity, right? So we would be pairing whatever synthetic assets we have with the CMDX token itself, because else we'll have to get in, just to create the market, we'll have to buy USDT or something like that. So just to avoid that, we will just pair it with our own token, so that the synthetics actually get good liquidity and there is less slippage for traders. And and then of course it accrues fees. You have to pay gas in CMDX. In the future, when the token has more liquidity, across different exchanges, on dexes, etc. Post that is when we would want to use that as collateral itself, because if you use something as collateral which doesn't have a lot of liquidity, it's not helpful either way, because the token price can fluctuate. So we want to start with big assets like Atom, Osmosis, Luna, UST, that have huge liquidity across exchanges, which can actually take that liquidation whenever that happens.
Very cool. Thank you for all of that, and I completely agree with you about the liquidity. For the viewers that are looking to get involved, learn more about commodities, as you mentioned, education, and start utilizing Comdex on the platform, what is the best way for them to learn more and to get involved?
The best way would be just to use Comdex.one. Just to go around the website, and inside the website you'll see links to our GitHub, our Telegram, and our Twitter. Our Telegram, we have a very active community, so if you have questions or anything, you can just shoot out, join the group, and shoot your questions. And the community itself, a lot of people keep answering questions, so it's not just the team. And if you're looking to get involved in a more technical nature, there's a Discord link there as well. So would appreciate any open source contributors, or if you can contribute in any way towards Comdex, please come and build with us.
Great. Thank you so much, Abhishek. I will leave those social links and Comdex One in the description box below. All the best with everything commodities moving forward, and let's follow up in the near future.
Thank you, Ashton. Appreciate it.